So today I'm taking a little different approach at making this video. I'm actually going to go through an article that I was reading and I found it interesting because the title is kind of basically uh, kind of deceptive, you could say, because they're saying, as you can see from the title, Latino voters who fled dictatorships fear election was stolen from President Trump. So you can see the framing already because they're saying, it's dictatorship fear. Um, but in particular, this is talking about, you'll see from here, it's talking about, this is from Florida, and kind of dismisses, it's basically kind of dismissive of, you'll see here, it's kind of dismissive of basically of the Cuban experience. And I kind of funny that the only time they mention Chavez, you'll see later on in the article, it's kind of a reference to Trump. So they're basically dismissing the Cuban and Venezuelan experience when it comes to socialism. But you see here, they talk about a lady who, since she became a citizen in '72, she's been voting for the GOP ever since then. And she'll say, you see here, I feel like I'm living what happened in my country 40 years ago. And like I said, you're going to see it's dismissive of her experience. It goes here, because it's kind of trying to, go, oh, why should Latinos have voted for Trump? But it's not about just voting for Trump. That's kind of why they want to push. It's like, oh, you're voting for Trump. You're voting for Trump. It's not only that people voted for Trump. It's like kind of like with this election, people didn't vote for Biden. People voted against Trump. And in 2016, that was also what went on. People didn't just vote for Trump. People voted against Hillary. And as we go on in this article, she says here, people used to say communism can't happen in Cuba. Look how that turned out. And the same could be said here. And here she's making, they start start talking about AOC. And, she's an open democratic socialist. And see, so that's what they're talking about here. And here they're kind of defending where this lady says her fear is that Kamala Harris, that she's another AOC. What's funny is here that Harris has generally stopped short of embracing many of the policies championed by the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. And it's like, yeah, okay. Part of, the unity coalition between Sanders and Biden was the fact that Biden was going to be a more progressive president, and they've boasted about this too. Biden kind of try to backtrack it, so to speak, saying he's the Democratic Party when everybody knows that if Bernie would have continued, or if they wouldn't have stole it from Bernie, and if they hadn't consolidated around Biden after South Carolina, we would have had candidate Sanders and not candidate Biden. So here it goes, attacking and going. Trump is refusing to concede, challenging the results. And it's like, it's not like Trump supporters are out in the street burning cities, looting. Trump and his campaign and his surrogates are fighting things in court. That's, you want to make changes, you make changes. You don't make changes by burning down your city and looting. You make changes by, you put pressures on your politicians that, hey, look, as much as I may disagree with AOC's policies, hey, more credit to her that she took on the establishment of her party and she won. And that shows you that the process could be successful. You got to try. Keep going here, where they talk about Biden was labeled a Trojan horse for socialism. And like I said, linking Biden to AOC and Bernie Sanders. And it was correct to link the two because, like I said earlier, um, Biden and Sanders, they combine, they have a unity platform. So with that being said, let's keep going on in this article. When you have praising Castro and documented programs, neo-Marxists, and you see, for the most part, it goes here. We simply voted accordingly as other many Latinos like Colombians and Peruvians who want nothing to do with socialism and the progressive agenda. And it's true. It's like, especially with everything that's going on in with this cultural civil war, like I mentioned in the video before, is that we, like especially like the term Latinx, which I can't stand because it's just a progressive. I don't even want to say liberal. That's why I say it's a progressive term that white progressives, the woke people made up in order to hold further the gender, the gender, the male patriarchy, whatever. But like I said, I wanted to show the reason I went through this whole article is because I just wanted to show here where, like I said, the way they frame this and it shows their bias. It's not something where they're just talking about the Latino experience. They have to, like I said, they defended Harris. There was no reason to defend unless the reason that you feel need to is because you support them. You just report the facts as what the people were talking about. Instead of, you will see here, they just keep they keep defending the Biden administration. So with that, let me just keep going here, and you'll see. Twitter announced it would begin labeling tweets as manipulated media, and you could see there's articles if you want to Google it. You'll see how basically this really affected, especially during this election cycle, it really affected Trump and the Republicans. And here was I was talking about disinformation campaigns target Latino voters. Sorry for that. I had to take a pause. Had a little tickle in my throat. So let me keep going here. What I don't like about this here is like disinformation campaigns target Latino voters. Okay, let's say there were, I'm pretty sure Democrats did the same thing in some Republican areas. But with that being said, you'll see here that it makes it seem like that's why Trump won Florida. And it's just a misconception. I mean, anyone who knows any Cuban, especially Cubans that were directly affected by the Castro revolution, and people, the Cubans have tried to pass it on to their relatives. I have a friend who's part Cuban, and his parents made sure to instill that into him to try to make sure that communism can't take root here, but it can. And if we're not careful, we can go that route. And so, I mean, I'm not a fan of this stuff too. There's videos touting Trump as chosen by God. Not a fan of that stuff. I mean, I'm religious myself, but I'm not a person who, even though in the Bible it does say that God does allow leaders to be chosen. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that I think he was like ordained by God to be president. But to each their own. But that's not me. And it goes here: Trump supporters warn of socialism in the U.S. And it goes here. Trump supporters and it goes. Democrats took a page out of the GOP book, casting Trump as a would-be strongman, likening him to Castro, Chavez, and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Like I said, that's when they finally mentioned kind of Venezuela, and uh, here they want to, it's like, oh, many Cuban voters, meanwhile, seem to discard the fact that Trump hired an attorney in 2008 to register the Trump trademark in Cuba, as reported by the Miami Herald, which it's like, okay, there's a difference. This Trump was a businessman. He was trying to make money in Cuba, and that's what he was trying to do. And so they want to attack. These are type of the attack ads that was going on, trying to trying to change the opinion, which I can't fault them for trying it, but at the same time, it's like I'm glad that they really didn't fall for this stuff. With that being said, if you want to see, I'll put a link to the article on this description, so you can read it for yourself. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and please don't forget to subscribe if you like my content.